What's happening, everybody? Review of Raw, WWE Raw, recommencing July 25th. Starts with it starts with a brawl between Logan Paul and Miz. Literally, they're just brawling. There's no talking. It's just a brawl. I think this is the new creative direction of Triple H, who's now taken over the head of creative. I don't know if who's booking the stages, the scripts or whatever, but obviously I know he's now involved in creative. So it started with a new regime as Vince is now gone. So it started with a brawl. Then after that, we get the head of the table, the tribal chief, the unified heavyweight universal champion. I think that's how you pronounce it. His titles, Roman Reigns, comes out with the whole bloodline. Basically, then Roman says he doesn't want to talk. So Paul Heyman's there basically saying how Brock Lesnar has stopped the streak. He has beaten Randy Couture. He has beaten John Cena. Now he's going to be beaten by Roman Reigns. Then Theory comes out. Theory talks about how he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank, how he's going to ruin the party, rah. Then he comes into the ring, and then Roman basically says to Theory, your daddy is not here anymore. So this is a new era. Look what's happening. And then one of the Usos got in Theory's face. Theory hit him with a briefcase, but Roman said not to attack him. So that was very interesting. Then we had Drew versus Theory in a one-on-one match. Obviously Drew mainly on SmackDown, but he's on Raw now. Well, they're everywhere basically. But it ended in DQ because Sheamus and his cronies came down to beat up Drew. But then the almighty US champion, the two-time WWE champion, came down, who defended it at WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley came down to defend. So they turned to a tag team match. It was Theory, Theory and Sheamus and versus Drew and Bobby Lashley in a really good match, and Bobby Lashley got the win. And then on the way back after the win by Bobby Lashley, Theory was then floored by the Bloodline. Then it was Rey Mysterio's anniversary celebration of his 20-year anniversary. Congratulations to Rey Mysterio. Then it was Judgment Day versus Rey Mysterio's versus the Mysterios, and Rey won, so great win there. Then Bianca Belair calls out Becky. Obviously they go out, it turns into a brawl as usual. The next match was Alexa Bliss versus Doudrop. Really good match. Alexa Bliss won. Then Logan Paul has an impulsive segment, which is his podcast. So he's there basically cursing and talking down. Maurice comes out, cusses back and forth with him, talks about her husband's genitalia, then slaps Logan Paul, and then Miz comes out, but then he gets beaten down by Tommaso Ciampa. This came from nowhere. Then it was AJ and Ziggler versus the Alpha Academy, in which Ziggler won. It seemed like they're putting AJ with any random person to make into a tag team. I don't know, it's just a bit weird, but okay. Then it was Bloodline in the main event versus Riddle and the Street Profits in a really good match. In the end, the tribal chief won, and Seth Rollins comes down and curb stomps Riddle's head into the steel steps. Good night. So that was Raw, really good. Then we go on to SmackDown. It started with Drew versus Sheamus in a Donnybrook match. The winner goes to the Clash at the Castle in Cardiff in a stadium match. Really good match. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Awesome match, but the winner was Drew. And then after the match, Drew was attacked by Theory, I believe. Then ringside, Corbin attacks McAfee, as would happen anyway. Then the next match was Aaliyah versus Shotzi in a really good match, which Shotzi won. Then we had Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey versus Sonya Deville and Natalia in a really good match, which Ronda won. So a really good match there. Then we had the Street Profits and the Usos basically having a back and forth chat with Double J there, basically calling the shots and imposing his authority for the SummerSlam match that they're going to have. Then it was the New Days versus the Raiders, and these new Raiders, I think they call them the New Vicious Raiders, whatever. Yeah, they won it, obviously. They're the New Vicious Raiders. Then Paul Heyman basically talks about SummerSlam and how Roman will get to 700 days. But while he was talking, the music hits and the Beast Incarnate comes out. Brock Lesnar comes out. And then Theory attacks Brock. And then Brock just lays him out. Theory attacks Brock, and then Brock was going to lay him out, but then he got out the ring, and then Drew lays out Theory and then faces off with Brock. So yeah, it'd be quite interesting because obviously Drew will now be facing whoever the Unified Championship is at champion is at the Clash at the Castle in Cardiff. So really good. Raw and SmackDown. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it for sure. It was good. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and that's the review of Raw and SmackDown in under 6 minutes. Click the like button, like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram below. Take care.